Hey guys, thanks for checking in back over here at the channel. Today I'm out at the rifle range, out of the backside, just got done doing some shooting. I've got with me both of Arken Optics LPVOs. Now I've got the new LH-6 mounted up on this AR9, and I've got with me the LPVO that Arken Optics has had out for a little while here, the EP-8. Now I'm gonna talk a bit about these optics, what's different about them, what I like about each of them, and why I think each of these optics has its own place on a different platform. So let's start off with this EP-8. Now the EP-8 is 1:8 by 28 first focal plane. Now if you don't know what that is, you gotta kind of do your homework, but in a nutshell, what's going on, when we move the magnification ring on this, the ratio of the reticle is gonna stay the same all the time. Now that sounds contradictory, because what happens when you're looking through a first focal plane optic is the reticle seems like it's getting bigger and smaller as you're zooming in and zooming out. But that really does work well if you're going to be using the reticle for holdovers. That's really the main benefit of that first focal plane. When we zoom this thing down to 1, again, this is a 1:8. When I put this optic at a 1, that reticle gets pretty small. Now, Arken did a good job of keeping it usable on this optic, so I've got no complaints with that. So this is real quick. That's your EP-8. Now, I've got a little cheat sheet here with some other facts and numbers and things that I haven't memorized. But here's your EP-8. I really like this. This is mounted up on a 5.56. I take this thing out to 300 yards. When I crank it up to 8, I'm really quite accurate with this thing. Now the new one that Arken's come out with, and a lot of people are getting their hands on these things now, is this LH-6. Now this is a 1:6 by 24. This optic has a 30mm tube versus the 34 on this one here. So we got a little bit smaller tube on it, a little bit smaller lens on it, as well as second focal plane. So now when we look through this one, as I crank from 1 only up to 6 on this, the reticle is going to stay the same all the time. We're not going to get that effect of it zooming in and out. So in essence, when we're taking those shots with the reticle at 1, we're not going to be dealing with the really small, hard to see reticle. And this is what a lot of hunters have really requested when they're wanting to have one of these LPVOs. Now I've got this mounted up on an AR9, so I'm not shooting it out as far, and I'm not doing holdovers with it. Now, other features that these both have is the illuminated reticle. It works pretty good on these. I'm gonna say I don't really have any complaints. I don't use it a whole lot myself anyway, but they do have that, both of them. It works well. They both have the KL box reticle. Now you can do your homework on that. There's some love-hate on that. It's not really designed to be, I would say, designed for deer hunters. It's definitely designed for tactical situations. The KL box is a shoulder width, is what we're using for holdovers and range estimates. But some other numbers and figures on these things for you guys. So the EP-8, now this EP-8, Arken lists these with the MSRP of $399. So $400 for this is what the suggested price is on it. And about $250 is the suggested price on this. Now you guys know how it goes with Arken. They're never selling these things for what they suggest it to be. So you can get one of these EP-8s about $299, and one of these let's see, I've got the LH-6. These things you can get them for under $200, so about $189. Arken's got 20, 25%, 30% off sales. But in a nutshell, what we're looking at is a $300 optic with the EP-8, the first focal plane one, and basically a $200 one with the LH-6, the second focal plane. I'm running the Arken rigid mounts on both of these. I've had no problems with them. They work fine. They're holding their zeros. Now I did do some shooting, getting these zeroed up today. Keep putting my hands in my pockets. It is under 10 degrees. Looks like a beautiful day out here, but it is really cold out here. My hands probably turning red, you guys can see. But I did some shooting, and I got a little bit of shoot through footage for you guys to see both of these optics at their lowest magnification setting, as well as at the highest magnification setting out at 50 yards. Now, I don't think most people are using LPVOs as their extreme long range optic. It's not what these are designed for. and it's really not the kind of the target that I'm touching base. So I don't have these things with targets set up at 200 and 300 yards, even though they are usable at that, but we're not going to be splitting hairs with these things. The SH4s, the EP5s that Arken offers, EB4, EPL4, LH, you know, all their other scopes I think are better for that long range stuff. Not to say these are not usable at those distances. Now, my impressions on these, aside from them both being usable scopes, I really like the new LH-6. I really like that second focal plane, quick reticle, quick target acquisition for my eyes. I'm able to find that reticle really fast, get on target at those close to medium ranges, you know, with this AR-9. This is a pistol caliber carbine. Nobody's shooting these things out real far, though this thing's pretty good at 100 yards. But ammos probably are hold up on this, not the optic. But I really like that second focal plane for being able to find that reticle fast. And I think for hunters, that's also something that's really key. You know, you've got an animal coming through and you don't have a lot of time. Not that the reticle on the EP-8 is too small. I've got some other optics that I'm doing some reviews on that is the problem. The EP-8, it gets pretty small down on one. The issue I ran into, as you guys can see with this shoot-through footage, is this 5.56 has this sight right here. So I had a little bit of problems getting real clear shoot-through for you guys at the magnification of 1. With this thing entirely backed out, my camera kept trying to focus on this front sight triangle up here. But some other things that I've written down for these guys, field of view on these. So our EP-8, so with this EP-8 at a magnification of 1, you got a field of view of 121 feet and some change. At a magnification of 8, we've got a field of view of about 14.5 feet. Now going over to the new one, the LH-6, 133 feet at a magnification of 1, field of view, and 21 feet at the 6 magnification. So they're pretty close. You know, we are looking at a difference in magnification of 6 on this guy and 8 on this, but they both have a really good field of view. As far as adjustments with turrets, both of these have cap turrets and they're only available in MOA. You know, I'm really a mill guy, but I'm not cranking in solutions with these, so I'm not bent out of shape with these being only available in MOA. What else did I write down on here for you guys? Oh, LH-8. So the LH-8 has a 180 MOA adjustment with this guy, and we got 110 with the EP-8. So there's quite a bit of adjustment up underneath these caps. So yeah, I'll show you guys. You take a peek. Everything is set up real nice with these. Arken is using the turrets on these without the Allen set screws that some people are having complaint or issues with keeping tight or whatnot. They're using, these are non-locking, but they're capped. But they're using the simple coin style deal to remove these. So you simply put your caps on there and your illuminations over here. But everything on these optics really works well. This isn't a comprehensive review of does this thing do what it's supposed to do. It's more of a comparison between these two of, is one better than the other? Depends on what you're using them for. I would say if you are the hunter, I'm really going to recommend going with this new guy. This LH-6 I think is great for hunting. It's priced right. They both got the same warranty, but if you're going to be doing that tactical stuff, you're going to be shooting out a little bit farther, you're really going to be using that KL box reticle, I would go with the EP-8. I really would. But as far as glass quality, image quality, ability to get your reticle focused in and all that, I'm not finding a difference with these. I'm not sure what Arken's claiming as far as origin of glass and coatings and the different things like that. If these things are both Far East optics, all right? So, they're both plenty clear for what they're being used for. I wouldn't get all hung up on the glass on these LPVOs, but everything's smooth. These both have a removable magnification throw knob. I'm playing around with this thing, and like I say, it is very cold today. And these are still really, really smooth. A lot of optics do tend to tighten up when it's cold. These are smooth, everything works well, the diopter adjustment. So I'm gonna end this with that. These are your two Arken Optics LPVOs that they offer right now. This has been the guy that everybody's been wanting. This is the one that's kind of going on back order right now. Hope you guys find this stuff useful. I think this is a great scope for 300 bucks. I think this is a great scope for 200 bucks. Would I buy these things if they cost twice as much? If this was a $550 optic and if this was a $400 optic, I would. I would pay $400. I'd pay $500 for this new. Hey, thanks for checking in, guys. I'm gonna get warmed up. And you know where I'm going with this. Keep on shooting.